Hey everyone, I thought I would try to do a video today on my brain's a little better. I think I'm in a little bit of a partial window again today. But I thought I would talk about things that got me through this. Number one is acceptance. We have to accept this. And trust me, I know how hard it is to try to accept it and not fight it, but the more we fight this, the worse we get. So we have to accept, okay, I have to feel this. I have no way out of it. There's nothing I can take. Everything made me worse. It's kind of like being in a traffic jam, you know, you're just stuck there. There's no way out of it. Until those cars get moving, you got literally no choice but to sit there. And we can either sit in that car and scream and kick and holler and fight, or we can just accept it, turn on the radio and try to distract until it's over. I mean, of course, this is much more horrific than a traffic jam, but you know what I mean, what I'm trying to get across. The second one was distraction. You have to stay distracted through this. Like the moment your eyes open till you close them. Whatever you can do to distract. For me personally, I had no way to distract. I was stuck in my bed in one place. Felt like I couldn't even move to the bathroom. So out my mind, and it was just so horrific. And I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't read a book. I couldn't play a game. Could not listen to music. I don't remember if I said that or not, but literally my only distraction was me making myself read and write, and it was beyond hard. Beyond hard. Like, some things I'd write would take me a fucking hour to write it. And it wouldn't even be that long. Like, it's just unreal. But I would force my brain into reading. And even those first few months when I couldn't make sense of words, I made myself do it. I mean, even though my brain wasn't picking up what the hell I was even reading at all, I would just sit there and keep reading and reading and reading and reading. Reading, and refresh the page, reading. And I mean, my brain wasn't taking in none of the words at all, but it distracted me. Kept my focus on something else besides, you know, the only other option I had was to sit there and stare off into space and just think about how I felt and how horrific it was, and oh my God, which I would have never made it if I allowed myself to do that. You have to stay away from Google. Stay away from any of the scary stuff, any of the permanent damage stuff. Anything that scares you, stay away from it. I also realize whenever you read anything or watch any videos, that person's story is not going to be yours. Only a very small percentage ever have to go through what I went through and what the other horror stories have to go through. Chances are so much higher that you won't see none of the horror story stuff. So don't be scared of things you read or watch or anything. And another thing I had to learn to do, and I wish I'd learned all these things when I was healthy. My life would have been so much better. These coping skills, guys, I'm telling you, if you can learn them, they work 100 times better than any medication ever will. I had to, and what was the crazy thing about it is I had never read about these coping skills or anything. It was like it come to me naturally, like my brain knew what I needed to do in order to survive this. Guided meditations have been a lifesaver for me through this. 4, 7, 8 breathing. Positive, and another thing I had to learn to do, and I was the most negative person in this world, and if somebody had told me, oh, just make yourself think positive, I would have thought, oh, you're full of shit. Like, what the hell are you talking about? But I'm not kidding whenever I say it helped so much. Now, these things did not take away my symptoms at all, but they helped me to make myself stay calm, not freak out. It allowed me to suffer a different level, like, because anytime I freaked out, or my heart rate got up, or my blood pressure got up, all that did was it made them hundreds of symptoms 100 times worse on top of me than I already was. So I had to force myself to do whatever I could to not make myself any worse than I already was. I mean, mine was so severe, I swear to God, I couldn't even cry. I could not even cry. Just the act of crying made me 100 times worse. I mean, it was just horrific. But, another thing I had to learn to do is change the way my thoughts, like, I got where the minute a bad thought hit my head, what I did is I started talking over that thought. The second it hit, I didn't let it get obsessive or without me fighting it any. Like, I'm talking the split second a bad thought got in my head, or my brain wanted to start thinking about how fucked up I was and how long I've been in this, and I would shut it down. The minute it hit, I'd start talking in my head over it all day, 24/7. And I'd say, stop, I'm not thinking about this right now. This thought is only going to make me worse. There's no reason for me to think about this thought, because there's nothing I could do about this. There is nothing I could do about what's to come, what's happened. What's the point in me thinking about it and making myself 100 times worse than I already am? And I would use positive words over them thoughts. And trust me, I didn't believe none of the shit I was telling myself, but it helped. I would say, like, even though I felt I was dying, I'd say, I'm not dying right now. This is a lie. You know, my body is freaking out right now. It's going haywire while it's trying to heal from these drugs. I kept reminding myself, Jennifer, you did not have this until you cold turkeyed. And until the alcohol. You didn't have none of this. This is only withdrawal. No matter how horrific it was only withdrawal. And all day long, I'm not permanently damaged. I'm healing. This is only temporary. I can do this. And I would remind myself, okay, I felt this shit before. I felt it yesterday. I felt it a week ago. I felt it a month ago. And yes, it's horrific. And I thought I was going to die, but I did not die. My body is just lying to me right now. I could get through just today. That's all that matters. And then that's another thing I had to do is literally, I had to learn to live day by day. Literally. And my brain stuff in a way was a blessing because I couldn't remember yesterday or think into tomorrow. So I was always stuck in the now, and that helped so much. Looking back, I mean, it was horrific, but looking back, it was in a way a blessing because it kind of allowed me to have more control over not, thinking about tomorrow and next week and next year, and but I had to learn, and sometimes it'd be 1 second at a time. I mean, my God, because just the thought of having to feel that another minute or another day was too overwhelming to even think about. I mean, oh my God, I can't even put into words how bad I was. No fucking words for it at all. And then I worked up to just today. Today is all that matters right now. I'm not thinking about tomorrow, not going to think about next week. Today is all that matters. I'm just going to make it through the day. Just like yesterday. And, that's how I've done it this entire time. Look at me now. I mean, I've gotten better and better and better. All that horrific stuff left. And I had to learn to sleep, sleeping routine, to lay there for 2 hours with everything off, did not allow myself to touch a phone, nothing. And sometimes it'd take 1 or 2 hours to fall asleep, but I'd listen to guided meditations and I would fall asleep eventually. But I'm telling you, and then I cut all them scary words out of my vocabulary. That I'm dying, I did not allow myself to say it. I'm permanently damaged, did not let myself say it. I'm not healing, I did not allow myself to say it. Any of the bad stuff that would have fed my fear even worse for me, I did not allow myself to say it. I replaced all them scary words with positive words. And I'm telling you, if you can learn these coping skills, and it will help you so much. I mean, it's not going to take away the symptoms, but allow you to get through this, because the more we fight it, the more we freak out. I'm telling you, especially if you're one of the unlucky ones that get these severe symptoms, it will make you 100 times worse. And whenever I would freak out, it would be impossible for me to calm down. I mean, I'd be on the edge of psych ward, like, terrifying. And I knew I couldn't risk being put in there and made worse than I already was. But learn all these coping skills, and especially if you're still on benzos, because when you come off, you can't rely on them anymore. Even taking occasionally, you can't do it, because just taking one, you risk kindling. It can set off severe acute symptoms, and it can make you 100 times worse than you already are. And every time you come off of them, if you come off multiple times, you risk it being more severe. So we have to learn these coping skills to get through this without any pills. But all the breathing, if you notice, a lot of times in my videos, I'll like that. I mean, I've learned how to calm myself and breathe right, and but I'm telling y'all, the acceptance is the key. You've got to accept it, and it's gonna end one day. I can't tell you when, and I wish I knew. I wish I knew for myself, but it will eventually. And if you didn't have this before benzos, you're not gonna have it. If you didn't have anxiety before benzos, you're not going to have it. Just like me, I didn't have anxiety before benzos. Now I don't have anxiety anymore, but I had horrific anxiety on them, and panic on them, and coming off of them. Of course, it was 100 times worse. But, and the agoraphobia they cause, I didn't have before. That's gone. Now I still can't leave my house, but it's not because I'm scared or agoraphobia. It's my brain stuff I have left on me. But I'm telling y'all, and focus on the success stories. People who lived it, they've gotten through it, and they've gotten better, and know that you will too. And just protect yourself, and stay away from arguments. Anything that will upset you, stay away from it. If somebody says something bad to you, just block them. I'm not even kidding. Don't even bother arguing with them, because it's not worth making yourself worse for. I mean, I've been so damn damaged in this and sensitive, I can't risk arguing with people and and being upset at all. And avoid anybody that makes you worse. Anything that makes you worse. I couldn't exercise. That made me 1,000,000 times worse. I was so damn bad I couldn't even be around people at all. I had to close myself away from people just to survive this at all. So anything you have control over, I mean, I know not everybody's going to be able to do that. I mean, the way of life is. But any stress you can control, or anybody that makes you worse that you can control and get out your life, do it. It's because I'm telling you, it's not worth anybody making you worse than this. And just protect yourself, and distract. And my best distraction was putting my brain into other people and helping other people. even though I could barely freaking read and write. Like, but it allowed me to focus away from myself. Because holy hell, if I'd allowed myself to focus only on me and didn't learn to distract and cope in this, I would not have survived it at all. I can promise you that. I still to this day remain in shock that I'm still alive at all. But I'm proof that we can get through this, no matter how severe it can be or how long it can take. We're strong as hell. And this is going to show you how strong you are. And just remember all you've been through already. Every day, every month, every year. And how you got through it and you can again today. And just for today. That's all that matters. Just getting through this one day. And tomorrow you do it all over again. And before long, things start improving and you slowly come back to life and come back to yourself again. And one day this is going to end. But I love you guys and you take care of yourselves.